watching the Go Crying the Walk-In podcast. I am Chef Cholo, and you already know. As usual, we are powered by Hospitality News Magazine and Hospitality News Magazine Online. You know, if you're a cat that's into like the restaurant scene, or you're one of those chef groupies, or you're someone that wants to know, listen, what's the next piece of equipment coming out, or where were all the chefs hanging out last night? Look no further than Hospitality News Magazine and Hospitality News Magazine Online. And if you like anything that you're seeing here today, please feel free to like, subscribe, and share to your friends. Today's guest is a very interesting person. In the wake of vertical farming and hydroponic farming and, people finding new ways to grow food better, I met this gentleman recently, and he's running something called... What do we call, brother, now?
Cubic Acres.
Cubic Acres. And here, we located in Setauket and soon to be built in Calverton. How you doing, Ryan?
Good. How you doing?
All right, brother.
Great to be on the show.
Nice handshake.
Thanks.
Strong man.
It's farming.
Farmer. You're not a farmer, Ryan.
I'm not.
I look at you, brother. You're not a farmer.
No.
But what are you before this? Because you had to be something.
Yeah, so academically, I'm mechanical engineering, and I spent a few years doing product development for companies.
So you went to college for mechanical engineering.
Yeah.
Now, what would typically that put a guy into after, because obviously 10, 20 years ago, guys weren't coming out and going to vertical farming, but what would a guy typically do?
Mechanical engineering is kind of like the liberal arts of engineering. So I knew guys that went into med school, they went to the stock market after that, they became engineers at Northrop Grumman or some kind of a defense company or product design.
Med school. Why med school?
Med school is like the analytical thinking of engineers.
Really?
So that's why you can get hired into. If you wanted to be a doctor, like say you wanted to be, for example, orthopedic surgeon. Okay. Then you really understand the kinematics of the body as well.
So you'd be first going to engineering school.
Yeah, my orthopedic surgeon growing up, he was an engineer as well.
You have an orthopedic surgeon.
I used to get hurt a lot in sports, so.
What kind of sports you played?
I was a pole vaulter and
pole vaulter.
Yeah.
You went to high school locally in where we live here in Three Village?
Shore-on-Wading River.
Oh, Shore-on-Wading River?
Yeah.
High school records?
I did have the high school record. I wonder if I still do.
Maybe they're going to retire your jersey soon.
Yeah. Not many people pole vault anymore, but
no.
It was a fun sport.
I watch it on TikTok.
It's pretty dangerous.
What's the one where I see Red Bull has a thing where it's not really pole vaulting, but they whip up on the pole, then they have to climb to the top as far as they can before it goes down?
I know that was a variation of a sport, an ancient sport, pretty much.
It's an ancient sport, right?
Cross a river, and that's how you would,
you had to get over a body of water.
Yeah, so you run with the pole, you grab it, you have to climb up it, and then it'll tip over to the other side. I always wanted to try that, actually.
Red Bull finds a lot of maniacs to do a lot of crazy shit.
I love watching this stuff. They do the high diving and abandoned
quarries. You've seen it, right? What about the bicycle on a path on a mountain top this wide? The guy's got the GoPro.
Biking?
Yeah, mountain biking.
I used to do downhill mountain biking. I love that.
You do? Oh, where you take it on the ski lift.
Yeah.
My tattoo guy, Ronnie, he's into that shit. He goes up to ski mountains in the summertime.
Yeah. I used to go to Mount Snow a bunch and do that.
I guess it's cool. You don't really got to pedal too much.
Yeah.
It's kind of like just riding, coasting.
You don't have to earn the downhill,
Yeah, but the pain it must cause when you hit the ground.
I remember I fell so hard once my shoes came off and just flew up, and it was actually... So I'm really bad at bridges for whatever reason. It's probably psychological, but they have these narrow bridges, and we're flying through the trail. It opens up into a bridge.
Yeah, they build a bridge in a trail.
Oh, yeah, but this one was over a creek. And I'm barely making it, and right at the end, I fall and hit the bank, and my bike goes flying, and my sneakers go everywhere.
Yeah, I like riding a bicycle, but I like riding slow.
These days, I try to keep it under.
One of those beach cruisers, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Fat tire bike.
Yeah.
I see them down at West Meadow Beach a lot.
Yeah.
A lot of people are cruising up and down the beach with a big fat tire.
We go there on family walks all the time.
You like West Meadow Beach?
That's great, yeah.
Yeah, nice. Listen, living in Three Village is awesome.
Yeah.
Living by the water is great. I mean, I've always been a beach guy, my wife. And I think that's awesome. So I went over to your spot today, right? And we looked inside the trailers, and there's things growing in there. There's lettuce growing in there, and the lights were like purple. Why is that? Why is the light purple?
Yeah, so we use a 5-to-1 red to blue ratio in the farms, and that's the optimum wavelengths for photosynthesis to occur. So plants are green.
So we're going quickly.
So you don't necessarily need green light because they reflect it, right? Because they are green.
Okay.
There's different theories on full spectrum lighting versus, red and blue lighting, et cetera.
Okay.
But we're trying to be as energy efficiently as possible. So.
All right. Oh, so those colored lights are going to be more energy efficient too.
Because you don't need to, theoretically, you don't need to spray the entire wave spectrum of light on the plant for it to produce photosynthesis or photosynthesis to
So
occur.
this light shining on us right now, this looks white to me. But
That's
you're
more of a
saying that
full
has
spectrum.
a full spectrum of
Yeah.
colors in it.
Yeah.
And you don't need that to grow.
No.
And more of that's going to use more energy, you're saying.
And different, you could technically tune the different light frequencies to bring out different flavor profiles inside lettuces.
Okay.
So if we grow a red plant, like we're doing red romaine, for example,
Okay.
and we shine the blue lights a little bit longer, it'll bring out the red colors more.
The
make
red
it
color
pop.
more.
Yeah.
So do they control, like in nature, they control that with taking light out of it, covering it or something like that? Or
So that's actually why plants are green instead of black to absorb the most, is because when in nature, when plants are moving with the wind, there's always some kind of shade hitting it a little
Right.
bit, and so the green color was the color that optimized the photosynthesis for the plants in nature.
it's not like white asparagus where they cover it.
I mean, that might have had a different environment that it was native to.
I don't like white asparagus.
Never tried
It looks like a penis.
it. Okay.
It's like a baby's penis. When I was working at the Garden City Hotel, we were doing white asparagus, and the GM was there, and we used to do the food tasting every day. You'd bring the specials, you'd lay it out, and that's what the general manager said. It looks like my son's penis.
Yeah, you want to be in the back chopping it up.
He wasn't the classiest guy on earth. He liked to split a Heineken. You want to split a Heineken? That was his favorite,
Okay.
which meant that he wanted to have a beer.
Yeah, but didn't want to have the whole thing.
And he didn't want to say let's have a. He wanted somebody else to be with him. So he said, "Hey, let's split a Heineken."
Not just let's grab a beer together.
He just, I don't care. I said, Charlie, go drink whatever you want. I don't drink beer. I smoke weed. It's not what I do.
You do that now at the bars too.
You could do, yeah. Well, you can't smoke inside, but you could drink cannabis. But ingesting cannabis is like you need a long time now. So I mean, how long do you spend at the bar? You go there, you drink a beer. 5 minutes later, you're high. You know what I mean? You drink something with cannabis, and you got to wait 3 hours. And how many more things can you do in that 3 hours?
Yeah, well, they do those infused dinner experiences. Actually, a good friend of mine has that company that does that.
He has a company.
Yeah.
Wow, I'd like to get into that.
Yeah, I
like
can introduce
that
you
idea.
guys. He's
I think
really good at
I smell a
infusing
podcast.
it.
I smell a podcast coming, Ryan. So, right now, what is the customer base for this lettuce that you're growing? First of all, I talked to Vlad this morning when I was there, and he said it's like a month and a half to make a head of romaine.
52 days. Yeah.
52 days
From seed to harvest. We really mostly just count it from when it gets onto the grow wall, the vegetative state.
From seed to Caesar salad.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So if you had something crazy you wanted me to grow that was hard to find, maybe it's, I don't know, we had some chefs that would buy escarole, which isn't that crazy, but you could think of some exotic herb that you might not be able to find that easily.
Okay.
And we can, adjust the environment in our farms
So
to grow
herbs
it.
are available to do in there too.
Yeah. We used to do a lot of different things. We used to have maybe 25 different SKUs.
I've seen all romaine lettuce in there today.
It honed straight into lettuce pretty quick.
And who's buying that?
Just restaurants, mostly local restaurants.
Seriously? This
Yeah.
is not like a home thing? These are going into restaurants?
When we started out, I didn't have that much time to put into the company,
Right.
Because it was just started out as kind of a side project, and the fastest, least amount of overhead was to just do bulk packaging into restaurants,
Into
and
the
they're
restaurant, 'cause
and they're
you move
pretty
quicker.
consistent all year round, so it was
Yeah.
easier.
So you don't mess around like the farmer's market, stuff like that.
It's just too much time to sit there all day.
It's a pain in the ass.
Yeah.
Plus, you got to eat a lot of donuts.
Yeah.
That's what I do at the farmer's
You
market.
buy a $20 donut somewhere.
I ate $20, $30 worth of donuts from him, man.
Yeah.
The guy over there in Setauket, they got a nice farmer's market.
We did just recently partner with Cisco, though. I know they have a number of retail locations that are interested. So.
The Big Blue, I seen the package already. It came across my desk.
Oh yeah.
Fazio, he's putting it out there.
That's right.
Tommy
The
Faz.
Foz.
The Foz.
That's what I call him.
Fazarella. Oh, you call him that?
I call him the Foz.
It's on now, man. It's fucking on right now. So I'm like, I always do research about people. So I'm reading about you, and articles are coming up, and then I just keep seeing AI and robotics. What is AI in that farm over there? What is it? Artificial intelligence over there?
Yeah. So the farms that you saw today they're our pilot project, but they're production. So we have a few research projects with Stony Brook University using robotics and machine vision to, better handle the lettuce. Our goal is to go from seed to salad with no hands touching lettuce
No
at
hands,
all.
and that would be the safest, I guess everyone's saying.
Safest, most efficient, and we can really hit the throttle a lot faster.
So are we saying that our planet is so much of a toilet right now that it's not even safe to grow in the ground? Well, not that it's not safe, but safer to grow something like this incredible lettuce in this environment and not have to deal with the outside elements at all. That's what you're saying.
Well, I wouldn't put it that way. Right now the weather's just becoming more and more unpredictable, right? And
So
there's
it's
more and
more
more
about weather.
Yeah, more and more catastrophic events. The temperature is getting too hot, and furthermore, we really put all of our eggs in one basket when it comes to produce in this country. So there's about 5 Mediterranean zones across the world where you can grow products like lettuce. One of them is in California and northern Arizona, right? So that's like where the lettuce center of the U.S. is.
But we're pretty good in this country with food. We don't import a lot of food, right?
Well, even if you have to, and not import it, but so in New York, the lettuce all gets produced in California, all right? So 98% of the lettuce that we eat up here in New York comes from this one spot in California. And it takes about 2 weeks to transport it here, 2,000 miles away. By the time it gets here, so it's super inefficient. It's very unsustainable. Like the cold chain that gets it here is broken, right? So a lot of times there's a 30% waste when it comes from the farm, then to the retailers, distribution centers, right? And then there's probably another 30% like in the actual restaurants that throw lettuce away. Either it's the tips that are wilted and the head part of it, the crown, or it just goes
up and they got too much.
Yeah, it goes bad because I think it's like a 3 day shelf life sometimes and less by the time you get it into
3
a restaurant.
days.
Yeah.
And is your product have a longer shelf life or no? Basically the same thing.
Well, I mean, we harvest it and deliver it within a
so
week.
good to
I
me.
know. So that will last 3 weeks in the fridge.
3 weeks like this.
Yeah.
Wow. Too bad I didn't bring a Caesar salad dressing.
Yeah, right. So we're really it's just about collapsing the food miles too. Like 2,000 miles to get food here. I mean, when you can grow it.
That's special. Yeah.
Yeah.
Hey, it's your boy Chef Cholo from the Go Crying to Walk In podcast. And if you're like me, you yearn for that old school relationship between purveyors and chefs. Nowadays, they got me going on a website, looking up my own orders, placing my own orders. I don't even know if the thing's going to get delivered the next day. I got nobody to talk to. If you're looking for that old school service with aggressive pricing, look no further than American Food Connection. What you do is you call the number at the bottom of the screen, you ask for Danny, and you get it straight. You already know. So, obviously, no need for pesticides, no need for spraying, no need for those things. I mean, could we go, could I ask you, I mean, is this a cost-effective venture for a restaurant?
Oh, definitely. Especially since we, when you come from a farm, it has to go through like 5 different middlemen before it gets to the restaurant.
Right.
Well, right now we go directly to the restaurant and now through distributors. But still, the price of lettuce, because you can't really predict the supply and demand very much because it's getting, now with the inclement weather events becoming more and more, there's a lot of disconnect between the supply and demand coming out. So pricing will go from like 60 cents a head to $3, $4, $5 a head in a week sometimes.
But this could stay consistent, you're saying, because it's one way, made the same way, we're not dealing with anything.
All year long, our prices and quality is consistent.
It doesn't have to change.
Yeah. No.
Okay. Now, I heard my guy Louis Sell over at Robke's. He has a lot of this lettuce over there.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's really cool.
Yeah, I love Robke's.
Great family restaurant.
Yeah.
I mean, I grew up in Northport, so I've been going there since I was a little kid.
Yeah, and Junior just opened up
and he just
Birdie
opened
Bar.
up another spot over there, Birdie Bar.
Birdie Bar.
He's ready to take it down. Over
Yeah.
there. He's an
He's
interesting
good.
young man.
He is. I
I'd
gotta
like to
go
get
get
him
a
on
drink
here.
there.
Yeah, he's friends with a couple of friends of mine. I think he's awesome. Now, as far as the public is concerned, is there any interest in like community supported agriculture, like CSAs and things like that?
I'm sure. I mean, we get a lot of requests to sell direct, but we just don't have the bandwidth right now to do that.
To do something like that.
Yeah, but we do want to have like at our expansion site one day. We'll probably have a little, walk-in farmers market. In
Yeah, I
the
mean, I
front.
always feel like it's easier to, for good things, better food, better drink, better clothing. It's always, I see in my mind, I feel like the direct to the person, whether it's like the restaurant has to do what they do to get it to people. But if I'm eating in my house, and especially if it's a person that, doesn't maybe use restaurants because of cleanliness or, exposure, would want to have something much better in their home. You know what I mean? Something like that.
Yeah.
You ever teach people? Is this something that someone could do on a level in their home? Is there
totally.
You do that?
I never thought I'd be able to do it. I could barely grow grass in my front lawn, but now we grow.
Yeah, I don't have any grass. I have 3 dogs, so I don't have a lot of grass.
Yeah, it's honestly pretty easy. I mean, if as long as you give it the right environment and the right nutrients,
Now, since we met each other and I've been getting ready for the podcast, I do a lot of looking around on social media and stuff like that. But I see people do something similar to this, even outside for larger things, broccoli and things like that. Is that something you're in your purview? Not outside, but growing hardier things, more things. I think broccoli would be wild, right?
I definitely want to. So we have the main lane we're staying in. Our focus is lettuce, but as a hedge, we're always keeping a little bit of R&D space to try different stuff. So I always try different seeds and try to see what else we can grow.
What I saw was these tubes, and the broccoli comes out of every side of the tube. Look like a freaking tree.
I would love to do broccoli or broccoli rabe or even avocados. I mean, there's so much. Why not? Anything can be grown indoors. It's just a matter of figuring out the right recipe.
So that's true. Anything can be grown indoors.
I don't see why not. I mean, some things that are foraged are harder to replicate the natural environments, right? But I don't see why it would be impossible. Just need to spend time figuring it out.
So the technology that does all this that I saw this morning, that's something that you patented, that you made?
No. So, I would love to. I mean, my background is engineering, so I love to create and design stuff.
Yeah.
So when I did the initial build versus buy analysis, the project became cash flow break even quicker if I bought something that was off the shelf.
Okay.
That being said, as soon as I got them, they were heavily modified just to work more efficiently.
What do you mean heavily modified?
Different pumps, drips, filters. We ran different recipes, different nutrients, combinations, everything until we got everything dialed in. It took about a year to really dial in exactly what has to get done inside the farms.
As far as the water that feeds the plants, how much of that water, what's the percentage of food? How do you do that?
Well, I'll give you. Well, it's about irrigation
parts
timer.
per million or something like that.
But the system's actually we recoup a lot of the water from the farms. So the dehumidifiers recapture the moisture, put it back into the farms.
Oh, really?
Even from the ambient environment outside the farms, we can pull in water from that. So a head of lettuce in California uses 18 gallons of water on average to grow.
One head of lettuce.
One head. This uses 0.025.
Seriously?
Yeah, because we target the irrigation directly to the roots, and we recapture any evaporated moisture in the air
inside that little system there. Inside there, it's recapturing. Because like I said to Vlad, I was like, is this are you controlling humidity in here? He goes, we're controlling everything in here.
And we can dial in. So right now I have the environment parameters set up for a nice Mediterranean island like Kos, which is where lettuce is from. So all the environmental parameters for lettuce to grow the best it can are in the farm. We did a project 2 years ago where we uploaded all the environmental parameters of Genoa, Italy. So we had the sunrise, the sunset, we tried to replicate the soil as much as possible with the nutrient profiles, humidity, CO2 levels, everything, right? Because environmental parameters are publicly available. And then we grew Genovese basil. So it was coming off as if it was out of the mountains of Genoa, Italy during peak harvesting season. It was, you open the doors to the farm and it was.
So one day they could take San Marzano tomatoes and make them anywhere.
Yeah, you could do it now.
You just gotta do it now.
Just gotta set the parameters up.
And you're saying there's machines that measure the soil. How do you know? How do you duplicate what's in the soil?
Yeah, so you can analyze the soil composition, right? Different minerals that are in it, like the calcium, magnesium levels, potassium, phosphates.
Ryan's
all
a smart
that.
Guy. You're a smart guy, Ryan.
I don't know.
You see, I just cook with these hands. That's all I know.
Yeah.
And make jokes.
That's.
So this technology, is this something that possibly could be sold to people's homes, small units, things like that?
Yeah, I mean,
you see that maybe in the future?
I mean, I would love to do it myself, but I don't have the bandwidth. But I don't see why not. You could have an appliance in your kitchen that's say the same size as a dishwasher or fridge that you can grow your own produce inside your own kitchen. I mean,
that's amazing.
Maybe 5-10 years from now, when I have the extra bandwidth, I'll create something like that.
Right.
But right now, we're just doing it on a commercial scale.
Wow. So you like a social media guy? You look at a lot of social media?
When I need to turn my brain off, I scroll through.
Yeah, right. When you're on a toilet.
Yeah.
When you're not in the gym.
Yeah. So most of the time.
Yeah, because you told me you're a member of the gym, but I don't see you over
I know.
there.
I need to get into it.
I'm like the mayor over
I'm working
there.
too much. This is
You
the
work.
belly of someone who works too much.
I thought that was an excuse for me for many years, but when you get to be 56, you don't want to look at death, so you better you better get with it now.
I hear that. I
You
started
got those
running
little
again.
kids,
Thank
right?
God,
Running.
Yeah.
I only run from the police. Somebody's chasing
So it's
me.
more like hurdles too. You
If
gotta jump
somebody's
fences,
chasing
right?
me, jump. Oh, Chef Cholo can't jump over a fence. If we got to the fence, we'd have to put
Just
our
go
hands
through it.
We would just put our hands behind our back and give up at that point. You can only run so far. You can only run so far.
Can't run a radio.
Nah, you can't. So, all right, brother. So, anything that's like you said, maybe you'd be opening a brand new facility. Can we talk about the new facility?
Yeah, we could definitely start talking about that. So we're breaking ground soon. We got 20 acres in Carrollton, and this is what we're gonna do. So we're partnering with a company in Scotland called IGS, and they do vertical tower farming systems. And so we're
Is
gonna
that what this is called? Vertical tower. That's what it's
yeah.
called.
Well, this is grown on a vertical plane. All right. So the
Vertical
new
plane,
yeah.
long.
It's so it grows
Instead
on a
of going
vertical
up.
plane like this. So the new technology we're using is horizontal shelves, and it was easier for us to use existing greenhouse automation systems on a horizontal plane.
Okay.
So that's the reason we chose that configuration. And we'll have 8 towers. Each tower have 52 shelves of lettuce growing.
So how many on the one trailer that I saw today? How many heads of lettuce could come out of there in the
Between 800 to 1,000 a week.
And how many would come out of the new thing?
We're doing 3 million a year.
3 million head a year.
Yeah. And that will be from seed to salad, fully automated.
Mucho
100%.
lechuga.
Swimming in lettuce. For
Yes,
sure. Yeah.
yes. Well, listen, man, this was like a really interesting conversation, and I really appreciate you coming and sharing all your stuff with us, man.
Yeah, this has been great.
Yeah, thanks a lot, Ryan. You've been watching the Go Crying the Walk-In podcast. I'm Chef Cholo, and you already know. Again, like and subscribe. Thank you. All right.